The following podcast, iDesign Lab, is an SW Group production in association with 5 Star and TW Interiors. This is iDesign Lab, a podcast where creativity and curiosity meet style and design. Curator of interiors, furnishings, and lifestyles. Hosted by Tiffany Woolley, an interior designer and a style enthusiast, along with her serial entrepreneur husband, Scott. iDesign Lab is your ultimate design podcast, where we explore the rich and vibrant world of design and its constant evolution in style and trends. iDesign Lab provides industry insight, discussing the latest trends, styles, and everything in between to better help you style your life through advice from trendsetters, designers, influencers, innovators, fabricators, and manufacturers, as well as personal stories that inspire, motivate, and excite. So whether you're listening to iDesign Lab during your commute, or in a cozy nook in your home or office, grab a coffee or a Chardonnay and join us on this elevated, informative, and lively journey into the world of all things design.
Today on iDesign, we're going to give a little tidbit. We're going to discuss why you should use an interior designer and why you should not decorate or design in isolation. And what I mean by that is why you really should come to an interior designer to pull your project together and not go to the kitchen and bath showroom and not go to Floor and Decor and not shop these places in isolation.
Well, it doesn't mean people shouldn't go, but it makes much more sense for an individual who's looking to redecorate a room or redecorate a house is talk to an interior designer that has experience and knowledge in all of those different aspects.
Correct. So even if you do go to your local, Floor and Decor or even a local kitchen and bath shop, you should still work with an interior designer who can look at your home and look at your project as a cohesive footprint.
Pulling everything together in one package.
Right. So even if it's just one room you're tackling, you still want that new kitchen to coordinate with the rest of your home. You don't want it to be like people walk in your house and be like, well, that kitchen was done in 2024, but all their furniture was from
another aspect of it is an individual who goes to a bath shop because they want to redo their bathroom, and the bath shop basically is going to change the bathroom for them, but they're not thinking about that bathroom is connected to a bedroom.
Correct.
And that particular person is looking at, well, I'm going to be changing the bedroom as well. They should really be thinking about is the bedroom and the bathroom at the same time, or even more importantly is the kitchen. Is they go to a kitchen cabinet company, and the kitchen cabinet company is going to sell them cabinets, but they're not thinking about all the other aspects pertaining to that room. What's the flooring in the room?
Right.
What's the backsplash of the room?
You're
is
right.
there wallpaper in the room? Is there paint in that room?
Right.
Is that room open to the family room or to a living room or a TV room? And how is that all going to be cohesive?
And that's why I mean you shouldn't design in isolation. And that is my biggest push when clients come in is really let's take in the architecture of the home, the architecture of even the condo building, whatever it is, you want your palette to be cohesive and finished.
Well, you've been an interior designer for 26 years.
Oh my gosh.
26 years you've been an interior designer doing over 400 homes.
I know, you say that.
But it's true. I've done a calculation and looked at the projects that you've done over the years. I've gone through your files. And you've done over 400 high-end homes completely. I mean, not just one room in a home, but a whole home. I'm not counting just the individual, like little rooms you've done as favors and so forth for friends and so forth.
But going back to the isolation component is I just really would like to stress why an interior designer is important to your project. So whether it is somebody that you're sourcing on an hourly basis or someone that you're hiring to walk this journey with you in renovation or even from the ground up, it's super important to not just design in isolation. However, these showrooms and these areas are great to go and kind of see what you like, and they're great resources for those purposes. but I really believe you should,
But why,
begin and
why
end with an
do
interior
people
designer.
not go? And in the 3 years that I've been involved with you in interior design, I've realized and I've seen and I understand why. Is that the first thing I think is that people think that an interior designer is too expensive. That
Yes.
they don't realize that the interior designer, especially if it's an interior designer who's doing a lot of business and has the right type of accounts with with vendors, there's buying power. So like with TW Interiors, we're buying things for, in some cases, 60-70% off retail. And we're providing that back
That
to
savings
the
to
client,
the
that
client.
savings. So when they're paying the markup for our services, at the end of the day, which we show clients, we're showing them that you're buying, this chair, when they see it, what it is in retail, with our services on top of it, they're buying it from less from us than they would be from retail. So that's one of the things I think that
It's kind of a misnomer in the industry that interior designers were really just for the high-end homes, the elite. And we live in a Pinterest world now where everybody can be, very high-end presentation.
Right. Well, the other thing that I keep telling in these podcasts, and I've mentioned it numerous times, is a client that you had that went to Rooms to Go, bought for 4 rooms of furniture, had the 4 rooms of furniture put into their house, and just could not understand why it did not look the way it did.
Well, it was
in
Rooms to Go.
But
It was
I remember you talking to the client, telling them, well, Rooms to Go has particular lighting. They have wallpaper on the walls.
Take
they have
away
carpet.
Rooms to Go. You can use Restoration Hardware as a great example as well. And I love Restoration Hardware. They've nailed the industry tremendously. They're,
Right.
they've curated an incredible collection. So it's not knocking them or their product. But when you walk into their showroom, it's a vibe, from the music to the smell to every detail. And they're always
The
these
lighting.
high ceilings, the lighting, the architectural detailing. And, their line is pretty clean and basic, actually. And so when you bring that into a clean and basic architecture, you just spent a lot of money and you didn't deliver the
Because
vibe.
you didn't pick out the wallpaper or the proper paint color.
Yeah.
And what the flooring is an area rug needed, what it is, all the accessories that are going along with it, which a
Exactly.
designer is providing and helping you with that service.
Correct.
Yes, it's a big thing for interior designers to, helping get that message out that people should think about, using an interior designer, if it's just one room or if it's
even
multiple,
if
whole
it's
house.
an outdoor, even
Right.
a pool renovation. I mean, there's so many projects that come into the office when they've already put the new windows in the house, or whatever the case is, but you're already spending that money anyway for all new windows and doors everywhere. Why not base it around your furniture layout and your plan? And maybe this door gets bigger and this window gets smaller, and you're curating your aesthetic. It's all about not designing in isolation.
Isolation.
Isolation meaning taking every little thing as its own individual task
Component.
or component. And I'm all about working with an interior designer because we tie all those components together.
Right.
So you come in with that as your plan. You come in with a budget. Everybody does have one. And you try to tackle the overall concept, the overall plan, and then you can tackle the tasks as you
Right. So
can.
before they're buying their first piece of furniture, they've got a plan that they can look at for everything that's going to be in that room. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to end up buying everything in that room.
Correct.
But they get a really good cohesive look and design of how the room should be with everything.
Again, yep. We're all about not designing in isolation.
In isolation.
So that's
All
our
right.
tidbit today.
All right, cool.
Okay. Until the next time.
iDesign Labs podcast is an SW Group production in association with the 5-Star and TW Interiors. To learn more about iDesign Lab or TW Interiors, please visit twinteriors.com.